Welcome to another edition of Agency Scaling Secrets. I'm Solomon Timothy. Today's question is, how do I run a digital marketing agency that is profitable? I talk to agency owners every single day, and one of the biggest questions that they have is, how do I run a profitable agency? That's exactly what we're going to dive in right now. So let's get started. Not every agency is profitable. This is a great question. How do you increase the profitability from 10%, 15, 20, even if you're at 30%, how do you increase it to be more? And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in this video. I'm going to break this video down into 5 steps that you can take right now to increase the profitability of your agency. The first thing I want you to talk about is, how do you create a high ticket offer to a specific niche of audience to increase profitability? That's correct. Being all things to all people does not get you the profitability that you're looking for. The way to increase profits in your agency is to carve out a niche, or what I like to say, nail your niche, and then give them an offer that they cannot say no to, right? They feel stupid saying no to. And I got this after years and years of running an agency. While we were growing, we certainly did not have high ticket offers. We did not have $4,000, $6,000, even $18,000 monthly recurring revenue from one client, because we didn't really have an irresistible offer. If you want to be a remarkable agency, not only do you have presence in the market, but huge retainers, you'll have to create an offer that your niche just cannot resist. So let me give you an example. If you're working with attorneys, an offer might be like, I can increase your revenue by $45,000 without radio, billboards, or TV advertisement, right? Every month. You think about that. So it's something that they're gonna get. That's the result, is what you're selling, without the pain that are associated with it in the marketplace. Now, if you're working with interior designers, you can say, hey, I will get you 10 new booked appointments every month without you having to do any organic outreach or prospecting calls. Because what they want is the result, and they don't want any of the pain associated with it. When they look at the result, they know they can close X number percentage of those booked appointments, of qualified appointments, and they can then assess their value for what you're doing for them. Otherwise, what you're doing is you're simply selling a retainer-based service in a commoditized world. So no matter what you sell, Google ads, Facebook ads, anything, YouTube ads, it is a retainer-based game. So somebody's charging $1,000, somebody's charging $1,500, somebody's charging $2,500. You can't come in and start charging $4,000. They'll be like, why? Why is this thing so expensive? Because I can get the same thing for half the price. When you switch to an offer and you give them a solution to a very specific problem, and that problem is really important for that buyer, you're gonna be able to sell them for the value that you bring rather than the hours that you put in to do that thing that you do. So here at ClickX, we coach our agency owners exactly how to create that offer, and then we work with them to get those kinds of leads into their pipeline to get to a highly profitable agency. That's what we do every single day. Every single day, we want to make sure that you can create 30, 40, 50% profit margin, gross margin on the work that you do. And that's typically done by creating an irresistible offer that your niche just cannot no to. So as an agency owner, you will be always working on this offer, and you'll be always narrowing down that niche of audience that you're working with, so that you can create more and more valuable offers where they can start paying you $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. We have agencies that charge $15,000 just to onboard a customer before they do any work with that client, right? Just for the strategy. You can imagine the amount that you can charge and have a highly profitable agency if you follow this one thing. All right, so this is number one. Now that we nailed exactly what is going to drive the biggest profit margin for your agency, the second thing that we need to really focus our attention, where we typically see people losing money, is their sales process. What I need you to work on is an efficient sales process where you have no fat. That's correct. People are booking appointments day after day for the offer that you do, and they already know exactly how much you're going to be charging them. They're coming to your funnel. All right, so whether you're running Facebook ads, you're doing organic, whatever you're doing to generate leads, you have to have a very efficient sales process so you don't end up with leads that are going to have think it over, or I don't have the budget, let me talk to my partner. All those things that stall the deal need to go away by having a very efficient sales process. This one thing is going to help you get more deals in the hours that you work or your sales team working than any other method. So you need to lay out to your customers exactly what the sales process is. Hey, we're gonna have a connect call, we're gonna have a discovery session, find out if we're the right fit, and beyond that, if this is something that you like to do, we will go ahead and proceed to onboarding you as a customer, and then you can start working with us by this date. Very simple process. The client knows where they are, client knows what's coming next, and if this is a fit, here's when you're going to start working. Most agencies are leading on customers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 calls, not really giving them where the end is, and that's not very efficient. What's happening is that every hour you're investing, $500, $600, $1,000, $1,500, by the time you close the client, you're already negative $3,000. Now you have to recoup your cost before you can start becoming profitable for that one client. If you cut out all the fat and let the customers know this is where you are, this is what's next, this is when we're going to start working with, there's clarity for both sides and you will become more profitable. Number 3, this is where most agencies fail. Do not have a contract with the customer. In other words, you give them an easy out, telling them that, hey, it's a month-to-month contract, and that means that the client can decide literally within 30 days. As I said, you're bringing the client on, you're already in the negative, and now they're leaving. All you've done is create a colossal loss for the agency. Instead, you let them know it's 6 months, it's 90 days, it's 1-year contract. I spoke to a partner last week where they commit their clients to a 12-month contract with search, social, and organic campaigns all bundled together. And if they don't commit to 12 months, they don't onboard that client. So as you can imagine, with any sort of sales process, there's costs associated with it. There's advertising, there's time invested into it. You now have that money recouped. You now have profit because the client is committing to work with you for this long. No matter how short the long engagement is, marketing is not something that you can get results overnight. So you might as well let the client know that, hey, we require 90 days, we require 6 months. And after that, it could be month to month, just so that you could recoup your cost and you can be profitable, and much more profitable than giving them a month to month. What you're doing essentially is allowing yourself to only work with those people that see marketing as long-term. They see it as an investment. They're willing to make the investment in you. You're going to make the investment back in them, and both parties are going to benefit for working together, right? This is a huge component. Most agencies, look, I talk to agency owners every single day. When I see things like this, I point it out as an opportunity to increase your profit with your customer every single day. These are small tweaks in your sales process that you can do right now to become more profitable. Some of you know that you have to streamline your fulfillment to increase profit. Sometimes you think that the only thing that you can do to increase profit is to cut your fulfillment cost. That's not true. If you cut your fulfillment cost, you're probably going to get less and less effective marketing campaigns, and you won't get the client retention. Instead, what you really need to do is offer a high-ticket campaign where you can still make significant more money without having to cut the actual quality of the fulfillment. The fulfillment cost needs to be there as you're hiring people. You want to give them good quality life. You want them to stay with you as an employee for a long term. And if you're doing fulfillment in-house, you really know that the team is everything for the business. You want to make sure that you put as much time and resources into your fulfillment team to get to where you're going as an agency. And if you cut that, you're going to have low quality team. It's going to be low performance campaigns. And that is not good for the client or the agency, right? Churn and burn, that's what happens. If you have a high quality fulfillment team, they're going to be able to be very effective giving the result to those people you promised so that you can get more clients, give them great results. They are staying on with you long term. You're getting more testimonials. It rinses and repeats itself. It's an upward momentum for the agency. But most of the time, what agency owners do is they're in the commoditized space. They're selling hundreds of dollars of campaigns, not thousands of dollars of campaigns, and they're trying to figure out, how do I get my fulfillment down to $100, $300? Well, that's the wrong way of thinking. If you're selling a $4,000 campaign, and if you spend $1,500 on fulfilling it, you're still better off than being in the commoditized $1,200 or $900 campaign. So what you want to do is make sure your quality of fulfillment is top notch, but what you want to do is bring efficiency. Let me give you an overview of where we're at. We have a specific offer to a specific niche, and we have an extremely efficient sales process. We're going to tell every single client that we're going to be on contract. You see, you're already increasing your profit margin and the lifetime value of the customer. Next, in order to really streamline fulfillment, whether you're doing it in-house or you're working with a white label provider, you want to productize. Why do I want you to do that? Because you need to know exactly where your cost centers are. What's it going to cost you to build a funnel? What's it going to cost you to run Facebook ads? What's it going to cost you for strategy? What about the creative team, the graphics, the ad copywriting? You want to productize, so you give the client exactly what they're going to get before they commit to you, so you know what it's going to cost, right? Let's say it's going to cost $1,000. It's going to cost you $1,500. You figure out where the time is going. You're going to say, this goes to the ad copywriting, it goes to the design, it's going to the Facebook ad team, whatever that thing might be. This is your next piece. This way, you know what your cost is. So think of yourself as a restaurant. If you're selling hamburgers, there's the cost of bun, there's the cost of somebody making the hamburger, the lettuce, the tomatoes, the wrapper, all those things, maybe the fries, the potatoes, you know it, the oil. That's exactly how a restaurant creates the pricing, is based on the cost associated with it. Once you know the ingredients of that product that you're making, you're gonna be able to put every single thing that goes into it and the cost associated with it, so you could streamline that cost so that you can make something that's 3 or 4 times that to give it to that specific niche. You'll be amazed at how much every single niche is willing to pay when they have a specific offer that meets their needs. Rather than buying digital marketing, an attorney is buying 10 new cases a month. You'll be amazed how much a niche is willing to pay for it based on the lifetime value of their customers. So if you're an attorney, 5 new clients might mean $500,000. There are manufacturing companies that make a $500,000 sale per client. So think about it, different people value their clients differently, and the high ticket offers really come from you knowing your niche and the pain associated with getting what they're looking for, and how much is that particular client or lead worth to them, and they'll pay you a percentage of that every time you deliver results. So if you can get 10 new clients to an attorney, they value that, it's like $100,000. They'll happily pay you $10,000 or $15,000 for you to deliver that kind of results, because they're probably spending tens and thousands of dollars on billboards and radio ads and TV and not really even able to track. So if you can get them, that is going to make their call center more successful, they will happily give you a percentage of that. What they don't need is more campaign-based digital marketing. What they need is the result that you will bring by really narrowing down that. So when you productize, you can put all those things that you're going to be putting in that campaign to get them the success that they're looking for, and you'll know the cost associated with it, so you could streamline your fulfillment, right? That means that the onboarding is much easier, the client campaign is much easier, a project manager will be able to check every single thing that you're committing to in your offer. When you don't have this, is typically where agencies start to lose money. When they have an open-ended deliverables, they start adding more things, they lose more time, and when the more money and time put into it, you're gonna start having less and less profit at the end of the day. So here comes my next thing. That is to improve your pricing model. Many agency owners need to revisit their pricing model because you've been using the pricing model that is from 3 years ago. The whole world has changed in the last 3 years. You need to revisit it. For all of you that are doing fulfillment in-house, the way to improve your pricing model is by tracking time. It is to track the input that you're putting in. How much time is the project manager, how much time the account manager, how much time is the copywriter, the designer putting into it, so you can have a better pricing model that is going to attribute to having higher profitability. Most agencies that are doing fulfillment in-house have to have a better tracking to get to the profitability. So I'm making videos for those that are doing in-house fulfillment using contractors, freelancers, or even white label partners. If you're using white label partners, then most of the time your pricing is fixed. They already have a pricing table, you're buying that plan, and your cost is fixed. So you know your profit margin right off the bat. If you yourself are spending the time delivering the results, or you're having contractors, freelancers, or employees, you have to have a better handle on the time. This enables you to have better pricing for the fulfillment and the productization. That gives you a better idea on how much contract you need to have, the contract value, and how much time they need to spend with you to recoup that cost, and to even start seeing the results of your work. And they'll start valuing the work because you're doing all of this work for a specific niche. Now you can work this up, right? You can start seeing that, hey, the contract value need to be $10,000 a month, and we need to have a very efficient sales process. We can't spend any more than $100 to $1,500 for every new client that you bring on. So you can kind of see that this is the underlying foundation of the work that you're doing, which is the pricing model, the fulfillment, the tasks that are associated with it, the product that you're selling. Then beyond that, how long is that product need to be sold for you to actually get 50%, 70%, 30%, whatever margin that you're looking for, and how do you make a sales process that is extremely efficient so that you're not losing money upfront in the sales process, and who are we selling this to that can afford it, and how much value are they going to get as a result. Work backwards. Trust me, to become profitable, it's not just one thing. There's 100 different things that you could do. It could be a SaaS software that you sell with it, maybe the web hosting, some kind of a recurring revenue product, a chat widget. You could do all kinds of things to increase profit. But at the end of the day, these are 5 things that you could do right now, fundamentally, that's going to change your agency's outlook 12 months from now. If you know me, you know I like to over deliver. So here's my last one. Here's my bonus one I want you to have. This is to upsell your existing clients with new offers. All right, so you need to have a system and a process to upsell them. If they're buying a $4,000 retainer, how do you get them to be at $5,000? What additional value do you need to give to them? The faster they start seeing results, they're going to want to invest more money because that's all they're trying to do. Put their money where they can get the maximum results, right? That's all they're trying to do. Touch base with them every 90 days and reassess their business strategy and to say, you know what, it might make sense for you to do paid search. It might make sense for you to do paid social. It might make sense for you to do some YouTube ads, right? Because you're not doing anything YouTube. They will begin to pay you an extra $1,000 or $1,500, $2,000. People can double their retainers, and now you've doubled your profit from the same exact client because of a systematic way of upselling your client. So if you don't do that today, that's the first thing you need to do. It needs to be a gradual thing. It needs to be a systematic thing. You as the business owner need to know when it's time to talk to them about getting them to buy more services from your agency. This video has been nothing but fire when it comes to giving you exactly the roadmap that you could use right now to increase more profit with every single client that you're going to be closing in the next week, next month onwards. If you don't have a niche yet, that is the first thing that you need to do, is figuring out what that niche is and creating an incredible offer. I want you to check out this resource, which is a book called $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi. This book is what I recommend for most agency owners that are not operating in a niche and not really getting the results that they're looking for in a business. You may just need to tweak the offer. It's not the product. It's really your offer. If you can create a different offer, you might be able to charge double, if not triple, from the same exact people that you're trying to get business from. So let's recap exactly what we talked about. Number one, having that high ticket offer to a very specific niche and having a much more efficient sales process and having a contract for every single account. There's no more month-to-month for you. And then figuring out your fulfillment by productizing. And if you're doing in-house fulfillment, having a much better model, knowing what the ingredients are going into by really tracking time and figuring out your efficiency. And finally, having a process to upsell every single client. So if you start doing these things, start checking things off, I promise you, you'll be incredibly more profitable than you are today. This is exactly what we do for agency owners every single day. We work with hundreds of agency owners just like yourself, figuring out their product, figuring out their niche, and giving them the fulfillment resources to start scaling their agency. Click that like button, consider subscribing, leave me a comment, tell me what other questions that you have about agency scaling. Reach out to one of our consultants. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.